What up, infidels? Another week, another brown. We're doing it. We're doing it again. Hey, what is this, like 5 in a row? Look at us go. Good to see infidels. Thanks. Thank you for those people who are regular listeners. I appreciate y'all. Obviously, I love y'all. And let's get right into it this time. You know what's funny? Last week I talked about this weird Starbucks game that I played about like not saying my real name. And then so I've decided the last 2 times to go when I went, I would just say my real name and spell it out for them. And the lady behind the counter clearly checks out after half, like the first part of my name, and just finishes it however she wants. Because I'll be like EHSAN, and both times it's like, oh, you don't listen to the last part. How did you get the last? It'll be like EHSA, and end there. One time it was ESHE, and it's like, what the fuck are you listening to even? I'm doing what you. This is why I don't play. This is why I don't like doing it. It's because like even when I spell it out, I get it wrong. They get it wrong, or they're clearly not paying attention. Maybe it's not her fault. Yeah, you know what? It's her fault. I was like, she's young. She's clearly airheaded, but like, come on. At least pay attention. Bitch. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So this week we'll start off with the new thoughts that I've been working on stage, like we normally do. I haven't actually worked on this on stage yet, but I have this theory that like liberal Austin. Let me rephrase that. I have this theory that these native liberal Austinites actually secretly love it that Californians are moving to Austin because it finally gives them a reason to tell someone to go back to where they came from. I think it scratches that deep Texas itch that they want to scratch. That's what it feels like. Because it is hell. I don't know if anyone else out there has been told to go back to where they came from by a woman with a Black Lives Matter like thing in her bio on Instagram, but it is a little bit funny. Go back to where you came from and just BLM in her bio. So hilarious, bro. It's like, wow, you really only care about the immigrants who are forced to be here? That's crazy. All of us chose to be here because we look like, oh, there's a better life out here. That's why I moved out here. Oh, there's jobs and stuff. There's jobs and stuff out here, dog. Of course we're going to move out here. In a place where the economy isn't good, in a time when the economy isn't good, I found a city where it's pretty good. Of course I'm going to move back here. I'm also a citizen of the same country. It's not like I moved to Austin illegally. I moved to Austin very legally. In the sense that I could just come here if I wanted to. I can go anywhere in this country if I want to and live there. I go to bumfuck Arkansas if I wanted. And I wouldn't go there unless bumfuck Arkansas had a lot of money and stage time. Then yeah, I would go there. Don't California my Texas. It's so funny. Hey, why do you think we left California? Because we want the same shit over there? And maybe there are some ideas that we could bring over that wouldn't be so bad. You know, like rent control. That would be pretty good out here, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you like that? Native Texans who are complaining about being priced out? Wouldn't you enjoy a little bit of rent control? You think that's something that you would, you think that's an idea that you would like? Maybe there's some ideas that are worth cross-pollinating. Clearly not, bro. It is insane, first of all, that like you could steal up to like $950 in California and not be prosecuted for a crime. That's crazy. Why? Who thought that was a good idea? I don't understand. Is it? someone explain to me what the thought process is behind there. What? Is it like overcrowding in prisons? Is that the reason why you did that? Then hey, just let all the people with marijuana possession that are still in there out. Let all the people who didn't really commit a crime out. The solution of not putting in people who commit crimes is insane. Your solution for overcrowding in prisons is not letting the people who would be innocent under the new laws of California out. They have to stay in. But you're not going to put actual criminals behind bars? What is the point? What is the point? Of course, if you make a law that says you're not putting in people in jail who steal under $950, of course people are going to steal. People are desperate. After years of warring on the middle and lower class, which is what California has been doing, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. They're desperate. And you were like, here, steal stuff. What? What do you want? You want people to leave? What is the point? What is the... I don't understand. You know? Let me look up the reason. Why? I'm curious as to why California has lax anti-theft policies. Why shopping is de facto legal. The Hoover Institution. California shoplifting, you'll find more than 100,000 hits. Yeah, let's see. Because the merchandise is just a misdemeanor. Why? Why? It doesn't say. The new law. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and of course the out-of-control drug problem. Rise of violent crime in California is jumping up. California is, oh, wow, they're even letting death row prisoners out? I don't understand. I don't understand what the fuck is happening. What is happening? Why is that a weird... So it's like... I get it, like, oh... I mean, I don't even get it. I don't even get it. I tried to look it up, and it still made no sense. And I was like, I can't read this in front of you guys because it's just going to look bad. Should have got some water before this. I can tell my throat's a little dry, and this coughing is just going to keep happening. Woke up a dry throat, drank coffee instead of water because I'm a dumbass. Yeah. So anyways, that was the whole Texas liberal thing. I don't know if you guys saw Biden in Maui. That was incredible. What a fun time that was. People just booing him. Why are we going on with this dog and pony show? This guy is like 85 years old or whatever the fuck. He's like 81 years old, and he has dementia. Why are we having him tour Maui? What do we do? Why are we pretending that this guy is alive even? What is happening? Oh, he fell asleep. Yeah, he has dementia. Any 80-year-old with dementia in a disaster zone, you'd be like, of course he's falling asleep. There's no way his brain can handle what's going on. They might as well have been wheeling Biden around like a dolly. That's what it looked like. It's like, what is happening here? People are still missing there. And then he left Maui to go back on vacation. Love it, bro. They just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck, dude. It is kind of hilarious when you watch it happen. I was talking to, I was in the green room with Dave Smith, who's very, very just so knowledgeable on everything politics. It's crazy. But he was telling me that he thinks that, like, now that the media is more like reporting on Hunter Biden and being like, well, you know, what's going on? How did he use his influence to gain his dad's influence to gain power and make shady business deals or whatever whatever the fuck. I just don't have the brain capacity to care that much about Hunter Biden, if I'm being honest. But now that they're running on that, you know what I mean? Like, oh, the president's son is corrupt. Duh. Hey, obviously the president's son's corrupt. He's the president's son. If you're the president's son and you're not corrupt, you're wasting your position. But now that they're reporting on that, they think they're going to use that to get Biden out so he doesn't run again. And then the Democrats can put up like Gavin Newsom or something, which I think is a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea because this is me. If I'm putting myself in Gavin Newsom's shoes. This is my game plan if I'm Gavin Newsom. In my mind, Newsom and DeSantis are kind of on the same level politically on each, the Republican, the Democrat, the big governor on each side that's making splashes on the national scale, right? And if I'm Newsom, I'm looking at DeSantis like, oh, he ran too early. You know what I mean? DeSantis, I think people were high on him. They were bullish on him, right? And then he ran, and then all of a sudden, all these problems in Florida started happening, but he really couldn't deal with that because he's on the national tour now, even though he's still the governor of Florida. And now he's down in the polls. It don't look good. Trump is still strong. It don't look good. If I'm Newsom, I'm looking at that like, this is not the right time to run. They're killing someone. They're killing people at our level right now. If I'm Newsom, I think you hope that it becomes Trump-Biden again next election. Because whoever wins that is going to be a divisive president that, is not going to inspire confidence in most of the electorate. They'll be old and ineffective and the same shit that we've been going through for the last 8 years. And you can use that time to be a strong voice. If I'm Newsom, that's what I'm doing. DeSantis has kind of been neutralized. We have two weak candidates. Let me use this time to be a strong voice. And in those 4 years that either Trump or Biden are president, it widens the gap between Newsom and that huge L that Newsom took during COVID. COVID was a huge L for Newsom. But if he waits 4 years is a lifetime politically. We went to Obama to Trump in 4 years. No one saw that coming. We went from Trump to COVID in 4 years. No one saw that coming. So 4 years is a long time politically. So if I'm Newsom, I'm waiting. That's my game plan if I'm Gavin Newsom. I'm not running this time. It's in his interest to let the Democrats flounder for 4 years. Does he take it, or is that prize of the presidency too juicy? The closer you get to the Iron Throne, the more irrational some people act. You understand? It's fun to make these sort of predictions from the outside looking in, but the closer you get to that Iron Throne, can you be patient? Because sometimes impatience kills people. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know people made impatient-ass moves. But that's my game plan if I'm Gavin Newsom. So, Gavin, I know you're an infidel. I know you listen to this. If they tap you, hold back. You're too close to that L in COVID. You're too close. Now, in 4 years, your biggest problem might be Vivek Ramaswamy. But, Vivek, man, that guy can talk. He knows what he's talking about. I was watching some of the responses in his debate and his responses to the media, and I was like, this guy is smart. He can get people on his side. He's outside the box. He's young. But if he wins the nomination, he is probably not going to get that Christian vote. And that leaves a door open for Newsom. It really does. The door for Newsom is in 4 years. It's not now. But does he see that? And am I just talking out my ass? Do I know nothing? Because I know nothing about anything. I'm dumb as fuck. So, you know, who knows? So yeah, that's Texas liberal and Maui Biden. Yeah. Do you anyone else out here find themselves using Twitter less now that it's X? And it's not out of some like fuck Elon Musk type shit, because I really didn't give a shit, if I'm being honest. I really didn't care. But it's just that now when I'm scrolling through my phone, it doesn't pop out to me anymore. It's just another app on my phone. I find that I'm on it way less, because I used to be like, oh, what's Twitter about? And I still have to find it. I still have to find, where's my X logo? I'm still so used to the Twitter logo. Maybe that'll change over time as Twitter becomes the dominant brand, as X becomes the more recognized brand. But I find myself using it way less just because it doesn't pop out anymore. It's just another app on my phone. I'm curious if it's the same way with you. I don't know. I wasn't like a huge Twitter user before, and we'll see once football season starts, really, and I'm using it a lot for highlights. Maybe I'll be back onto it, and I'll just be more primed to look for X. But like I saw a TikTok video, and it was like, watch the rest of the video on X. And at first I was like, I'm not going to a porn site to watch the rest of this TikTok video. First of all, the TikTok video was called "He Catches His Ops Lacking at the Gas Station." So I imagine the Twitter video or the X video, well, I can't call it the formerly known as Twitter video, would be a video of this guy getting like shot or some shit. And for it to seem like it's on X videos, like a porn site, I was like, oh, this is what's porn for us now? That's crazy. That's what I thought. I was like, why is this video of this guy getting shot on a porn site? That's insane, dude. What? But yeah, I just find myself using Twitter less. Okay. Let's see. Other thoughts I had. Oh, okay. This is, I actually wrote down a lot of stuff. You know, this week I was like, what am I going to talk about? Because I'm always like, what am I going to talk about? But I actually wrote down a lot of stuff. So we have to actually go through quite a bit. Let's see if we can get it all done today. If not, it's okay. We're going to move it on until next week. A lot of this stuff will still be going on. We're still on new thoughts before I get into the other things that I saw. This is a joke that now, this is a new joke. I said it for the first time on stage, and I'm going to say it for you guys, right? So I was walking on 6th Street to the Comedy Mothership, and a homeless guy approached me, and I just I ignored him. And he goes, oh, I see what's going on. You just hate poor black people, don't you? And I was like, damn. He read me like a book. How did he know? Is his third eye open? Was this some enlightened homeless man that could read my thoughts? That's the joke. Obviously, that's the joke. The reality is, obviously, I hate all poor people. I hate all poor people, clearly. That's the reality. This one just happened to be black. Sometimes it's not always a race thing. It's just that's just the race of the people involved. You know what I'm saying? I found out that if you made $39,000 a year, you're part of the 1% of the entire world, and now I choose to act like it. I was like, oh, I'm 1%? I didn't know that. I didn't know I'm 1%. Let me get my monocle and top hat, baby. I'm the Monopoly man. This is why I'm going to hell. This is why I'm going to hell. This is why I'm going to hell. Going to hell. Yeah, oh, dude, I also saw another I saw a dude, because, you know, 6th Street in Austin is it's a shit show, especially on the weekend. And last weekend, I saw a dude with no arms, just wasted, passed out on the street. One of the most insane things I've ever seen. Just laying on the ground, everyone just walking around him. Not homeless, just a wasted guy with no arms. So crazy. If there was ever a man who needed a hand, it was that guy. No one there to help him, can't even prop himself up. And you know what's funny? Because you see a guy with no hands passed out drunk on the side of the street, and you're kind of like, damn, I get it. I get it. I see what's going on. Of course you're wasted. You have no arms. I would get drunk too. I'd be like, damn, life fucking sucks with no arms. Especially if you used to have hands. We don't know his relationship with arms and hands. If he never had some, you're like, damn, this guy, I'm missing. Like, does he even feel like he's missing out? Or that's just life. But he must feel like he's obviously missing out. This motherfucker can't play catch. You can't play catch, bro. I was playing catch with my girlfriend the other day, just in her house, and I was like, this is the greatest thing of all time. Catch is like the greatest thing of all time. Great game that you can play while you're talking. Catch. He can't even do that. He can play thud. That's what he can play. You throw something at him and it hits him in the chest. Thud. Hey, bro, want to play thud? And then if he used to have arms and now they're off, then it's like, whoa. That sucks, dude. Losing something that major, I can't even imagine what that would be like. That would be the worst, dude. Losing something that major would be the worst. I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it. Knock on wood that I don't lose any one of the major limbs, major senses, you know? But that's, you know, because I think about that. It's like, bro, what if something happened and I just became paralyzed? How would I handle it? To get into my house, I need steps. To get into my house right now, I would need steps. How would I handle it? Hopefully it never happens. But it's a damn shame that could be reality. And maybe that's why that guy with no arms was drinking. He just remembers a time with arms. Just taking shots with his face. He has to, every shot for him is a blowjob shot. He has to put his mouth around the entire liquid and just... Crazy. Crazy, dude. Is this a good episode? Hey, sometimes they're all hits, sometimes they're misses. You know what I mean? Okay. More thoughts. This isn't a joke. This is actually just like a thought that I had while I was watching stuff. So I saw this online thing. I saw this thing on Twitter, on TikTok, another TikTok thing that I saw. Apparently, there are people in Britain taking down traffic cameras. And I looked it up. What are these traffic cameras about? Apparently, they put up cameras that track that if your car doesn't meet certain environmental standards, you have to pay a fine of £12.50. And that's if you don't have like a newer sort of electric vehicle. Pretty much like any older gas car, non-hybrid is probably not going to pass these fines. Probably not going to pass, and you'll get fined. And that's what people are taking down because they're angry. And they should be. They should be. Because it's stuff like this that makes people think climate change is bullshit. Even though you can kind of see what's happening all around us. The intense heat, the intense weather events, a hurricane in Southern California, something's up. But people won't believe it if you do stuff like this because we all know the major emitter of carbon in this world is large corporations and the military. And the military. And your plan to curb carbon emissions is to tax the middle and lower class. Well, of course they think it's bullshit. Because if you took it seriously, you'd curb the real carbon emitters, wouldn't you? But you're not. This is why people think it's bullshit. They're called ULEZ cameras, ultra low efficiency zone or something like that. They're trying to make London an ultra low efficiency zone. And here's an interesting thing that I read. So according to emails between Deputy Mayor for the Environment and Energy, Shirley Rodriguez, and the science team from ULEZ, from Imperial College, that said ULEZ had a relatively small effect on air pollution. Well, the deputy mayor paid to have that suppressed. The policymakers in charge of this greener London paid to have information, scientific information, that went against what they said, repressed. So they could get this policy going to tax the middle and lower class. The ruling party suppressed important scientific information and just put out the stuff that fit their narrative. This is why people are distrustful of climate change initiatives and why people are distrustful of COVID vaccines. Because this is what they're doing. If the climate is your number one priority as a voter, and you are like, why do so many people not believe that it is real? It is because of stuff like this. I read this and I was like, oh, is it that real? Our leaders know who the number one emitters of carbon are. And if that's really the reason why our environment is heating up to an unsustainable level, then why aren't they curbing it? Or is it that the earth goes through cycles of heating and cooling, and they are using that to kowtow to big companies who make electric cars? Well, we can use this natural disaster to force our narrative. This is why people don't think it's real. Because I know a lot of you who think this is a big deal and this needs to be addressed. And you're like, how can you be so stupid to not see that it's coming? It's because of stuff like this. Because if it is real, why are you punishing us? And maybe that's just the state of human politics, is that even if it is real, the people at the top who are causing the problems obviously won't get in trouble. Obviously, I mean, look at the 2008 financial crisis. None of the people who did that are in jail. None of the people who are behind that are behind bars. But you know who suffered? The poor and the middle class. Or what's left of the middle class. And that's probably what's happening here. It is real, and who's suffering is the poor and the middle class. Obviously, that's probably what's happening. But I don't want to say obviously. Maybe that is what happened. Maybe that is what's happening. I don't want to say obviously because I don't know how much they're telling us is true. Obviously, we'll be the ones who suffer first. I mean, sorry, I'm the 1% of the world, so there are definitely people who are going to suffer way more than I'm going to suffer. That's for sure. But, you know, this is why people don't think that it's real. This is the reason, dude. It's an ultra low efficiency zone. And people think that it's some sort of start of some sort of social credit system, which, hey, we're kind of already on some kind of social credit system, aren't we? Our money isn't backed by anything. Money isn't real. All our money is just numbers on a screen right now. Right? By the way, I know nothing about money, but I know it's not backed by gold. It's just numbers on my app. Isn't that a social credit system? Isn't that kind of what we're already doing? I'm doing work for the company that I work for, or I'm doing work on stage, and I'm getting paid X amount of social credit for doing it. Because if everyone went to the bank and asked for the money, obviously they wouldn't have it. I mean, we're pretty much halfway there. The ultra low efficiency zone. ULEZ. I wonder how effective it'll be. I wonder if we'll see something like that here. They're already talking about stuff with carbon footprints. You know, if you can only spend X amount of carbon and you have to stay home. I've heard rumors floating around about that, which is crazy because they're ending work from home policies. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's just another way of control. And they know they can control us. They locked us down for a long time. Maybe not here in Texas, but in California, we were locked down for a long time. And then remember the first few weeks when everyone was locked down, how and the environment cleared up? Maybe that's what they're aiming for. But it does feel like a way of control more than an actual fix for the problem. They say mass mandates in some places are coming back. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. It's clearly not working. I think most people now are finding like COVID is just part of the cold flu. It just is what it is. We can't lock down again. It just can't happen. I will not let it happen. I will stand up for our rights. Whatever, dude. That's the ultra low efficiency zone. Might be coming to a place near you. Okay. So, do I want to talk about the Hollywood strike? No, I'll keep that going. I have stuff about the Hollywood strike that going on right now, but I'm going to take a bet that it's still going to be happening in 1 to 2 weeks. So I'll keep that for next week. The Hollywood strike. We'll talk about it soon because I have a feeling it'll keep happening. Oh no, they stopped production on Dune 2. Who cares? I already talked about Timothée Chalamet. Dune sucks. Okay, so here we go. This is also what I wrote down this week. I talked about this I think 2 weeks ago, where I power ranked my species. Where I said if there were a power ranking of species that have lived on Earth, it would be 1 humans, 2 dinosaurs. So what I'm doing now is I'm power ranking current animals on Earth. So dinosaurs are out of the question, but the current animals on Earth. And I wrote down a list of 10. And I'll go through my list and see if you agree with me and see what I'm missing, and let me know what's going on. Okay. All right. So, number 1, humans. We are the best. We are clearly the dominant species. We're the apex of the apex predators. We're such apex predators. We put other apex predators in zoos so we can go and just watch them. Bears, lions, tigers. In zoos that I've seen in person. You know what I mean? There's no other, whales, killer whales in a water zoo. At a certain point, we put other humans in zoos. We're such a dominant species. I remember watching blackfish. African American fish, and seeing, like, we would hunt the whale pods for the baby whales to put in the aquariums, and the whales got, wise to it and started sending decoy groups out, and we would chase those decoy groups and not find a baby whale. And then we started tracking both the real group and the decoy group in airplanes above the water, and I was like, we're the best hunter. Whales, which are incredibly smart, that they have decoy groups and they're running screens and fakes and have off-ball movement. And we have a plane. Completely dominant species. We're number one, for sure. Number two, I put sharks. I put sharks at number two because they're old. They're older than trees. They're older than trees. And they, you got to put something on. You got to put something on for being that dominant for a long time. They're like, I don't know. I don't know what the sports analogy is for what team. Up until this year, I would say the St. Louis Cardinals just always, in my lifetime, had a chance to be in the World Series. It felt like every year that they were good in the playoff hunt. They're just long-term dominance. They're like the, I guess, the New England Patriots of prehistoric animals. That's just a long level of sustained brilliance. They eat people in water still. I saw that video of that Russian guy getting eaten by sharks. Like I said, they're older than trees. You got to give them props. Inspire a lot of fear. Inspire a lot of, wonder. I got them at number 2 on my species power ranking. Number 3, I got the eagle because of America. That's literally it. That's why they're number 3. If you think that's wrong, I'm sorry that you hate freedom, you communist. I didn't just say bald eagle, I expanded to other eagles. I'll even let you count falcons as eagles, even though they're different. But eagles are 3 because of America, and I think that's fair. Number 4, I got lions/tigers. You gotta get, they're just big cats. And the lions are the king of the jungle. You gotta give the king of the jungle a high ranking. He doesn't get number 1 because we're in modern times. In monarchy, it doesn't matter anymore. There's not a single monarch that has, intense political power that I can think of off the top of my head that, shapes foreign policy around the world like they used to. They've sort of fallen. That's why lions, which I originally thought was 2, I was like, no, your form of governance is dated, so I'll put you down to 4. Now it's more like England. It's just sort of a show monarchy, but you get down to 4. Get with the times, lions. Get with the times. Number 5, I got whales. Whales are my number 5 species on Earth. I think you got to hand it to them. They're mammals that breathe air and live underwater. That's impressive, bro. Every day for a whale is an away game. And they dominate, bro. They're the biggest species in the ocean. Think about that. They don't breathe water, and they're the biggest species in the ocean. That's impressive, bro. Against all odds, whales, number 5 on my list of species on Earth. Or animals, I guess, because there's so many whale species. But still. They can take on humans as well. Moby Dick, famous whale. They can win Oscars. Brendan Fraser, famous whale. Whales have done a lot, and they don't have any home field advantage. They're like the Las Vegas Raiders, dog. Every game is an uphill battle. And unlike the Raiders, they're killing it. So shout out to whales. You're number 5 on my list. Probably should be number 4, actually. You know what? I'm going to move that. Whales 4, lions, tigers 5. Take that king of the jungle. Get a more updated form of governance. It's 2023. Number 6 is the horse. And you got to go horse here because for a long time, it was the way humans traveled great distances via horse. It was before the invention of the gun, the best militaries were the best horseback riders. And even after the invention of the muskets, people like the Comanche were dominant warriors because they were better on the horse. It wasn't until stuff like the revolver and more advanced guns that the whole horse kind of got taken out as a dominant form of military. But you gotta understand how dominant horses were in the military world for a long time. In World War One started with people. How do I say this? When World War One started, militaries still had cavalry. There are pictures of World War One fighters on horseback. Now, that was the war we found out, like, hey, these guys are totally obsolete. Like, they're on their way to becoming obsolete, but they were totally obsolete as a sort of war machine. But up until 1911, they were a viable method of warfare. They're not even native to North America, and they were dominant in warfare in North America in the 1800s. Dominant. Shout out to the horse. That's at number 6. You know what moves horse to 6? Lions and tigers. Horse to 5, lions and tigers. You go down to 6. That's as far as lions and tigers would fall, because my number 7 is mosquitoes. I was like, we got to get insects on the board somewhere. There are so many of them, and I think you got to give one to the mosquito. Just because mosquitoes are one of life's biggest villains. Just a regular mosquito to a normal person can cause so much pain. What a mosquito bite can do to you, how it can grow, especially if you scratch it, it become huge and intensely uncomfortable. And that's not even mentioning the diseases you can get. That's outside of the diseases you can get. A mosquito bite is horrible because they like, pow, 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 pow. They hit you, dude. It's like a drive-by. It's not just one shot. It's pow, 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 pow. And then on top of that, you can get malaria, Zika. Remember Zika? That was an issue. Dengue. I don't know what else. Probably definitely more. And the damage they can cause, and there's so little, and there can be so many of them, that you gotta give mosquitoes their props. And I think to all the other insects, yeah, sure, there's more beetles than there are mosquitoes, probably, like species of beetles than there are species of mosquitoes, but in terms of pure villainy, mosquitoes are number 7 on my species power ranking. Number 8, we got wolves, because they're badass as fuck and because they became dogs. That's mainly because the variation in wolves from actual wolves to Chihuahua is pretty amazing. Wolves started off as one of the most badass creatures ever on Earth, and then became a product of millennia-long eugenics experiments by humans. Dogs are the greatest testament to what humans can do when they focus on eugenics. And because of that, and because of what they've become through human manipulation, I put wolves at number 8 on my species power ranking. Number 9, we have the cow for feeding us. The number 1 source of nutrients for the apex predator, I would say, is like farm animals, cows, chickens. But I'll give it to cows because they for meat, milk, their babies are food, cheese. They're probably a huge cause of this warming we were talking about earlier. Hey, there's no ultra low efficiency zone over like large factory farms, I'll tell you that. Or ultra low emission zone over large factory farms. There's none of that. Those are high emissions from the cow burps and cow farts. I heard there's more methane in a cow burp than a cow fart, but it's funny to think that's fart. That's why people shit on cows for methane. And then number 10, we have spiders because I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid of spiders for sure. Spiders are and they're the number 1 fear. It goes public speak. They're not a number one fear. Sorry, they're not the number one fear, because number one fear is public speaking. But if there was a fantasy draft for fears, they'd be a first round draft pick. It goes public speaking, death, spiders. If we were to fantasy draft fears, if I had the third pick, I'd be hyper with spiders. I'd be like, oh, that's a good, we can build our team around spiders. You know what I mean? So, I'm very afraid of them. And they're creepy, dude. They're creepy as shit. 8 legs? Ugh. 6 legs is weird enough. 8, get out of here, weirdo. And then some of them are poisonous. And now that I live in Texas, there could be a brown recluse somewhere. Ugh. But yeah, so that's my species power ranking. We have humans, sharks, eagles, whales, horses, lions and tigers, mosquitoes, wolves, cows, and spiders. That's my list. If you disagree, let me know. I definitely forgot something for sure. So let me know what I forgot in the comments if you made it this far. I appreciate y'all. Infidels. I love you. And I'll see you next week. Peace in the Middle East.